What if I told you your car is secretly draining your wallet right now, and it's not because of gas prices or dealership scams? I'm talking about simple things like ignoring a $10 sensor that's strangling your engine's power, or tossing out your whole wiper arm when it's just a bad spring. These are the things I see every week in the shop, and they cost people thousands they never needed to spend. I've been wrenching on cars for over 10 years, and trust me, most drivers are bleeding money without even realizing it. By the end of this video, you'll walk away knowing 17 real-deal car repair secrets that'll save you over $2,000 a year, no dealership required. You'll get more power, better fuel economy, fewer breakdowns, and best of all, no more surprise repair bills. So smash that like button, hit subscribe if you love saving money and outsmarting mechanics who just want your cash, and let's dive in. Secret No. 17. Clean your mass airflow sensor, instant power boost. You'll be shocked how many drivers ignore their mass airflow sensor until their engine starts gasping for air like it's running a marathon. I had a guy roll in last month complaining his truck felt slower than a Sunday driver. Turns out his fuel air mix was way off because the sensor was clogged with grime. A quick clean with spray and suddenly he's grinning like he just unlocked horsepower he didn't know he had. Dirty sensors don't just reduce efficiency, they strangle your acceleration and cost you gas money. 20 miles is all it takes for gunk to build up. Replace the habit of ignoring it. Here's the fix: grab cleaner, the right kind, no shortcuts. Unclip the sensor near your intake and give it a gentle spritz. No scrubbing, no DIY hacks with a toothbrush. Maintenance this simple saves you a repair bill later. And if you're already feeling lazy, remember, even mechanics charge less for this than a fancy coffee. Your throttle response will thank you. Secret No. 16. Car batteries, the cold hard truth. A customer last winter learned the hard way. Their cheap battery with weak cold cranking amps rating left them stranded in -10 degrees Fahrenheit weather. Cold cranking amps aren't just numbers. They're your engine's lifeline when temperatures plummet. Always match your vehicle's group size and terminal type for perfect fitment. Maintenance-free doesn't mean forget about it. Check that date code. Even new batteries can sit on shelves for months. Pro tip: AGM batteries outperform standard lead-acid in extreme weather. And always apply corrosion prevention grease to terminals. Don't get stuck paying for jumps when a $100 battery could have saved you. Secret No. 15. Change cabin air filter equals better AC performance. Ever blasted your AC on max only to get weak, lukewarm air that smells like a musty gym bag? Last summer, a customer swore her ventilation was broken. Turns out her cabin air filter was so clogged with pollen and dust, the blower motor was practically suffocating. A $10 replace took 5 minutes, and suddenly her cooling was ice cold again. Most drivers forget this cheap little filter affects everything from airflow to cabin comfort, especially when allergens turn your car into a sneeze mobile. Here's the fix: pop open the glove box, usually no tools needed, yank out the old filter. If it's gray and crunchy, it's way past due, and slap in a fresh one. Do this every 15 miles or 20 if you drive in clean areas. Bonus: your efficiency improves because the system doesn't fight resistance from a dirty filter. And if you've ever caught a whiff of mold or odor, this'll nuke it. Do it yourself this and save the maintenance upsell at the shop. Secret No. 14. Use anti-seize on spark plug threads. Let me tell you about the time I had to extract a spark plug that welded itself into an aluminum head. Took 2 hours and a whole lot of swearing. The owner swore he just had them changed, but without anti-seize, the threads galled into a repair nightmare. This happens way more often in older vehicles, where heat cycles and corrosion turn a simple plug change into a stuck plug horror story. And no, a spark plug socket alone won't save you when metal bonds to metal. Here's the fix: a tiny dab of anti-seize on the threads, not the electrode. Before installation, just enough to prevent seize and galling. But don't go wild. Too much can mess with torque specs. And for heaven's sake, don't confuse this with thread locker. That's a whole different disaster. This mechanic trick is preventative gold, especially if you DIY. Trust me, your future self will thank you when those plugs break loose like butter instead of snapping off. Secret No. 13. Protect door seals with silicone grease. Last winter, a customer nearly ripped his door handle off because his door seals froze solid overnight. The fix: a 5-minute silicone grease application that also solved his wind noise issues. Most drivers don't realize dry weather stripping causes sticking doors, annoying cabin noise, and eventually cracks that let in rain and cold air. Rubber longevity is simple. Clean seals, apply thin lubrication, and enjoy smooth operation year-round. This seasonal maintenance repels water, prevents freezing, and keeps your ride quiet. Way cheaper than replacing dried-out seals. Secret Note 12. Use a battery tender for stored cars. Nothing kills a battery faster than sitting unused. I've seen perfectly good batteries destroyed by sulfation after just a month of storage. A simple battery tender prevents this by providing just enough charge to counteract parasitic drain without overcharging. For seasonal vehicles or cars in long-term storage, this $30 gadget pays for itself by preventing corrosion and battery drain. No more frantic jump starts or replacing batteries every spring. Just plug it in when parking your car. It's cheaper than a new battery and easier on your electrical system than constant jump starting. Your future self will thank you when the engine fires right up. Secret No. 11. Use dielectric grease on electrical connections. Here's a pro tip that'll save you countless headaches. A dab of dielectric grease on electrical connections works miracles. I recently helped a neighbor whose truck kept having intermittent electrical issues. Turned out his trailer wiring connectors were green with corrosion. 5 minutes applying this magic gel and his problems vanished. This stuff creates an invisible shield against moisture and oxidation while maintaining perfect conductivity. Use it on battery terminals, bulb sockets, even sensor contacts to prevent those mysterious electrical failures. Best part? It's cheap insurance. A tiny tube lasts years and beats replacing entire harness connectors down the road. Your connector longevity will thank you. Secret Note 10. Replace wiper arm springs instead of whole arm. Most drivers throw out entire wiper arms when their blades start streaking or skipping, but 90% of the time it's just a $5 spring problem. I helped a college student fix her worn-out wipers last week. The tension was gone, but a quick spring replacement had them pressing perfectly again. Here's the cheap fix. Pop off the wiper arm cap, remove the old rusted spring, some pliers help, and swap in a new one. Add a dab of lubrication at the pivot point while you're there. This DIY hack beats paying for OEM parts and takes 10 minutes tops. Pro tip: test blade performance by lifting the arm. If it flaps down weakly, your springs need love. This simple maintenance keeps your windshield clear without the upsell. Alright, if you're still with me, you're already ahead of 90% of drivers out there who just wait for stuff to break. But trust me, some of the juiciest secrets are still coming. I've got one that'll help you catch engine problems before they even throw a check engine light, and another that could save you from a $4,000 transmission rebuild. Yeah, you're gonna want to stick around for that. And hey, if you've learned even one thing so far that's gonna save you cash, do me a favor. Tap that like button so YouTube knows this info's worth sharing. Alright, let's get back to it. Secret No. 9. Use OBD2 live data to spot failing sensors early. That check engine light doesn't just magically appear. Your car's been screaming for help through live data long before. Last month, a customer's truck showed perfect fuel trim numbers, until we caught its oxygen sensor spiking erratically during real-time monitoring. That $20 OBD2 scanner uncovered what the diagnostic trouble codes missed, a sensor in its death throes. Stop waiting for breakdowns. Watch for mass airflow readings that dance at idle or coolant temp that won't stabilize. Spot sensor drift before it becomes a failing sensor. This is preventative diagnostics at its best, catching issues during a drive cycle while repairs are still cheap. Secret No. 8. Replace thermostat as preventative maintenance. Most drivers only think about their thermostat when their temperature gauge spikes, but that's like waiting for a heart attack to check your pulse. I just replaced one in a Camry that was taking forever to warm up. Turns out it was stuck open, killing the owner's MPG and making the engine run colder than a polar bear's toenails. Here's the smart move. Swap it out every 60-80 miles as preventative maintenance. While you're in there, do a coolant flush and check the gasket seal. A $30 OEM thermostat and 30 minutes of work beats a $1,000 overheating bill when your stick's closed on the highway. Watch for failure symptoms like erratic engine temperature or long warm-up times. Your coolant flow should be consistent. This little wax pellet and spring mechanism is your engine's temperature traffic cop. Secret No. 7. Engine air filter, your car's invisible performance killer. Most drivers don't realize a dirty filter can cost them 10% horsepower loss and worse fuel efficiency, until I show them their black clogged filter versus a fresh one. Last month, A customer's performance drop mystery was solved when we found their filter so packed with leaves it looked like a forest floor. Pop your filter housing every 10 miles. If you can't see daylight through the paper element, you're starving your engine. While washable filters promise performance gains, they often oil up your MAF sensor. Stick to your maintenance schedule, usually 15 to 30 miles, for maximum debris protection and cost savings. Secret No. 6. Use torque wrench on oil drain plug. I can't tell you how many oil pans I've seen ruined by someone cranking down an oil drain plug with brute force. Just last week, a dyer used an impact gun and created a repair nightmare. Stripped threads in his aluminum oil pan. The fix cost more than his last 3 oil changes combined. Here's the golden rule. Always use a torque wrench with the manufacturer's torque specs, usually 18 to 25 thulls, paired with a new crush washer or drain plug gasket for perfect sealing. This prevents both oil leaks from under-tightening and rounded-off bolts from over-tightening. Your DIY oil change just got professional-grade protection. Secret No. 5. Use UV dye to spot engine oil leaks. Most drivers only notice leaks when they see drips on the driveway, but by then, you're already losing oil. Last month, a customer was convinced his rear main seal was shot. We added UV dye during his oil change, ran the engine, and found the real culprit. A tiny valve cover seepage invisible to the naked eye. Here's the pro move. Pour fluorescent tracer dye with fresh oil, draw it normally, then scan the black light. Suddenly, hidden leaks at the oil pan gasket or other spots glow like neon signs. This mechanic's secret costs less than a coffee and saves you from guessing, or worse, unnecessary repairs. Secret No. 4. Transmission fluid change, the silent savior. Your transmission doesn't scream for help. It whispers through slipping gears and jerky shift quality. I recently saved a customer from a $4,000 rebuild just by catching fluid degradation early. Their fluid was darker than coffee and smelled burnt. Classic neglect signs. Forget those quick flush scams. Do it right, drain and fill with quality synthetic blend. Replace the filter and inspect for metal shavings. Stick to your manufacturer interval, usually 30-60 miles, and always check the dipstick reading. Pro tip: that pink color should stay rosy, not turn muddy brown. Secret No. 3. Spark plug maintenance, your engine's heartbeat. Think of spark plugs as your engine's pacemaker. When they weaken, everything suffers. Last week, a customer complained about 20% fuel efficiency loss. The culprit? Worn electrodes with gaps you could park a truck in. A proper gap adjustment and some dielectric grease had the ride purring like new. Here's the golden rule. Replace plugs per your manual's change interval, typically 30-100 miles. Use the correct heat range and always torque to specs. Pro tip: a dab of anti-seize compound prevents thread damage, but don't overdo it. That white paste can affect heat transfer. Secret No. 2. Tire pressure, the silent killer of your wallet. I just helped a customer avoid $800 in premature tread wear. Their tires were underinflated by just 5 psi. Most drivers don't realize that being off by even a little murders fuel economy and creates uneven wear patterns. Your TPMS light only comes on when you're already dangerously low. Break out the pressure gauge monthly, check cold reading, and match your door jam sticker's manufacturer recommendation. Pro tip: for every 10 degrees Fahrenheit temperature change, your PSI shifts about 1 point. And never trust gas station gauges. They're wrong more often than weather forecasts. Secret No. 1. Headlight restoration, see the road like new again. A customer almost hit a deer last week because his yellowed lenses cut his visibility improvement by 60% at night. We used a DI light kit with sanding grits and polishing compound. 30 minutes later, his lights looked showroom fresh. That UV damage and oxidation removal could have saved him a $2,000 collision repair. Skip the toothpaste hacks. Proper buffing technique with a clear coat sealant is what stops the haze prevention from returning. Whether you choose professional service or DIY, that Lens Clarity Restoration gives you nighttime safety without $300 plus replacements. Conclusion. And there you have it, minus 17 car repair secrets that could easily save you over $2,000 a year if you stay ahead of the game. These aren't just tips, they're real-world tricks we use in the shop every single day to keep cars running longer, smoother, and cheaper. Don't wait until your engine's smoking or your wallet's crying. A few minutes of smart maintenance now will save you hours of frustration and thousands in repairs later. If even one of these helped you out, Hit that like button so more drivers can avoid the same mistakes. And if you want more no BS car advice from someone who actually turns wrenches, make sure to subscribe and check out my next video. 10 DIY car fixes that dealerships don't want you to know about. Stay safe, drive smart, and remember, a well-maintained car is a happy car and a fatter wallet for you.